Good day everyone, I am Lou IT Manzon and we will talk about parochial schools. Education during the Spanish regime. During the Spanish colonial period of the Philippines in 1565 to 1898, most of the archipelago underwent a deep cultural, religious transformation from various native Asian cultures and traditions with Islamic or animist religious practices to a unique hybrid of Southeast Asia and Western culture, including the Catholic faith. Spanish education played a major role in that transformation. The oldest universities, colleges, vocational schools, and the first modern public education system in Asia were created during the colonial period. Education was still in the early stage of development during the Spanish period. Even by the late 19th century, the Spanish language was still unknown to a great majority. They were literate in their own native dialects. The Spanish aristocracy tried to distinguish themselves from the Indians with the use of language and level education. The early period. During the early years of Spanish colonization, education was mostly religion-oriented and controlled by the Roman Catholic Church. Spanish friars and missionaries educated the natives through religion with the aim of converting indigenous populations to the Catholic faith. This is the system of writing during the Spanish regime. It was the Latin alphabets. The Augustinians opened a school immediately upon arriving in Cebu in 1565. So this is the example of picture Augustinian friars. Augustinians, these are the religious priests and brothers who are following the footsteps of Christ and Saint Augustine since 1244. The Franciscans arrived in 1577 and they too immediately taught the people how to read and write, besides imparting to them important industrial and agricultural techniques. So this is the example of the picture of the Franciscan friars. And Franciscan friars, they are a group of related mendicant Christian religious orders primarily within the Catholic Church and founded in 1209 by Saint Francis of Assisi. The Jesuits who arrived in 1581 also concentrated on teaching the young. When the Dominicans arrived in 1587, they did the same thing. And this is the example picture of the Jesuits priests. The friars were effective in evangelizing the Catholic religion to the Filipinos. One major failure of the educational system of the religious congregations was the withholding of the Filipinos to learn other bodies of knowledge. Education during the Spanish regime was privileged only to Spanish students. Several educated Filipinos, referred to as ilustrados, began movements directed towards change in the system of government in the Philippines. The Chinese language version of the Doctrina Christiana or Christian Doctrine was the first book printed in the Philippines in about 1590 to 1592. Thomas Pinpin. In 1610, Thomas Pinpin, a Filipino printer, writer, and publisher who is sometimes referred as the Patriarch of Filipino printing, wrote his famous librong pag-aaralan ng mga Tagalog ng wikang Kastila that was meant to help Filipinos learn the Spanish language. The prologue read, "Let us therefore study, my countrymen, for although the art of learning is somewhat difficult, yet if we are persevering, we shall soon improve our knowledge. Other Tagalogs like us did not take a year to learn the Spanish language when using my book. This good result has given me satisfaction and encouraged me to print my work so that all might derive some profit from it. Tertiary schools. Colegio de Santa Potenciana was the first school and college for girls that opened in the Philippines in 1589. It was followed by another school for women, which is the Colegio de Santa Isabel, that opened in 1632. Other schools and colleges for girls were Santa Catalina, Santa Rosa, La Concordia, etc. Several religious congregations also established schools for orphan girls who could not educate themselves. In 1590, the Universidad de San Ignacio was founded in Manila by the Jesuits, initially as the Colegio Seminario de San Ignacio. The Universidad de San Carlos was founded in Cebu by the Jesuits on August 1, 1595, initially named as the Colegio de San Ildefonso. It closed down in 1769 as a result of the expulsion of the Jesuits from the Philippines and didn't open again until 1783. On April 28, 1611, the Universidad de Santo Tomas was founded in Manila, initially named as the Colegio de Nuestra Señora del Santísimo Rosario and later renamed as Colegio de Santo Tomas. In 1611, Fray Miguel de Benavides, the third Archbishop of Manila, established the Colegio de Nuestra Señora del Santísimo Rosario, later renamed Universidad de Santo Tomas. In 1645, by Pope Innocent X, it called Universidad de Santo Tomas. San Carlos and Santo Tomas maintain a friendly rivalry over the claim to be the oldest university in Asia. The University of San Carlos makes the claim of tracing its roots to the Colegio de San Ildefonso, founded by the Spanish Jesuits Fathers Antonio Sedeno, Pedro Quirino, and Antonio Pereira in 1595. The Jesuits also founded the Colegio de San Jose in 1601 and took over the management of a school that became the Escuela Municipal. 1859, later renamed Ateneo Municipal de Manila in 1865, and now the Ateneo de Manila University. The Dominicans on their part had the Colegio de San Juan de Letran in 1620 in Manila. All of them provided courses leading to a different prestigious degrees like the Bachelor in Arts that by the 19th century included science subjects such as physics, chemistry, natural history, and mathematics. In 1621, College of San Ignacio was elevated to the rank of a university by Pope Gregory XV and was named University of San Ignacio. However, this school was closed in 1768 when the Jesuits were expelled from the country. The Franciscan nuns was established the real Monasterio de Santa Clara, now St. Clare Convent of Manila, the first nunnery in the Philippines in 1621. San Juan de Letran for the orphaned boy established in 1630. The girls were also given a special education. Schools were of two kinds. Colegio. This is a regular school for girls. Beaterio. a combined school and nunnery. The first college for girls in the Philippines was the College of Santa Potenciana in 1594. After the school ceased its operations, the students transferred to College of Santa Isabel, now the oldest existing college for girls in the country. The institution was originally built to care for orphaned Spanish girls. Eventually, it became an exclusive school for the daughters of affluent Spaniards. In 1640, the Universidad de San Felipe de Austria was established in Manila. It was the first public university created by the Spanish government in the Philippines. It closed down in 1643. During the 18th century, the Faculty of Jurisprudence and Canonical law was established. In 1871, several schools of medicine and pharmacy were opened. Secondary schools. A nautical school was created on January 1, 1820, which offered a 4-year course of study for the profession of pilot of merchant marine that included subjects such as arithmetic, algebra, geometry, trigonometry, physics, hydrography, meteorology, navigation, and pilotage. A school of commercial accounting and a school of French and English languages were established in 1839. The Don Honorio Ventura College of Arts and Trades, or DHVCAT, in Bacolor, Pampanga, is said to be the oldest official vocational school in Asia. Augustinian friar Juan Zita and civic leader Don Felino Hill established the vocational school on November 4, 1861. The Manila School of Agriculture was created in 1887, although it was unable to open its doors until July 1889. Agricultural schools and monitoring stations run by the professors who were agricultural engineers were also established in Isabela, Ilocos, Albay, Cebu, Iloilo, Leyte, and parts of Mindanao. The Real Sociedad Económica de los Amigos del País de Filipinas, or Royal Economic Society of Friends of the Philippines, was first introduced in the islands in 1780 and offered local and foreign scholarships to Filipinos, professorships, and finance trips of scientists from Spain to the Philippines. The Observatorio Meteorologico del Ateneo Municipal de Manila, or Manila Observatory, was founded in 1865 by the Jesuits after an article they published in the newspaper or Diario de Manila describing typhoon observations made on September 1865 attracted the attention of many readers who publicly requested for the observations to be continued. Thank you so much for listening for my topic today. God bless and keep safe, everyone.